Imagine starting your day with an opera of complaints instead of coffee. Welcome to my morning routine. The sun peeks through the curtains, the birds are chirping joyously outside, but inside the atmosphere could slice through steel. As I shuffle to the kitchen, there's my wife, transformed overnight into a breakfast critic of the highest order. Today's menu, a full English breakfast, but according to her it's more of a catastrophe than a meal. She examines the eggs like she's judging a Michelin star contest. Too runny, she declares with a scoff that could chill the Sahara. The bacon? An insult to pigs everywhere, she proclaims, her voice rising in disdain. And the toast? Oh, the toast. If it were a crime scene, she'd be the lead detective, detailing its every flaw from crust to crumb. As I chew quietly, trying to avoid her gaze, she sighs dramatically. Could you chew any louder? Apparently even my mastication isn't up to par today. And you thought your alarm was the worst part of waking up. Ever had a shadow that criticizes you instead of just following you around quietly? Let me introduce you to mine. Living with a narcissistic partner is akin to being perpetually on stage, except you never asked for the spotlight, and the audience is never quite pleased. Imagine waking up every day to a partner who needs constant admiration, like a flower that demands the sun to shine exclusively for it. In this case, my wife, the sunflower in our garden of life, thrives on attention and validation. But here's the twist. Empathy seems alien to her. She can flip from charming to chilling faster than a kettle boils. Picture this. I'm recounting a tough day at work, and instead of a comforting word, I'm met with, "But let's talk about my day." It's as if my feelings are just background noise to the grand opera of her life. It's like living with a mirror that talks back, and frankly, it's exhausting. Last week I apparently forgot her birthday. Mind you, her birthday is in 6 months. Gaslighting, a term that sounds as though it should belong in a quaint Victorian novel, is actually a modern-day psychological manipulation technique, and let me tell you, my wife could write the book on it. One classic example. Just last Tuesday, she insisted that I had agreed to sell our car. The car I drive to work every day, the car that, as far as my memory serves, was never on our list of things to sell. Then there was the time when she threw a lavish dinner party. Halfway through, she pulled me aside and hissed that I had embarrassed her by not complimenting the appetizers, which she claimed I had raved about when we were alone. Only those appetizers, I'd never seen them before in my life. And let's not forget the daily occurrences. I might mention how chilly it feels in the house, only to be told, "You always say it's perfect. Are you sure you're feeling all right?" Suddenly, I'm not just grabbing a sweater, but also questioning my own senses. This constant questioning of reality can make one's head spin. Was the sky really blue yesterday? Or was it a shade of grey? And I've just convinced myself otherwise to avoid another argument. Gaslighting isn't just about lying. It's an art form of making you the artist of your own confusion. And in the gallery of our home, the exhibits of doubt are plentiful. If confusion were an Olympic sport, she'd have gold medals to spare. Dinner parties at our house are less meet and greet and more duck and cover. Imagine a scene where the table is set, the candles are lit, and the guests have just arrived, expecting a delightful evening. However, what unfolds is more akin to a theatrical performance where the lead actress, my wife, takes centre stage, and not necessarily for the best reasons. Take, for example, the dinner party last March. The theme was spring renewal, but the only thing that seemed to be renewing was my wife's penchant for the spotlight. As our friends shared stories about their recent holidays, she interjected, turning every conversation back to herself. When Mike mentioned his skiing trip to the Alps, she quickly dismissed it with a tale of our trip to Aspen that was, according to her, far more adventurous and, of course, exclusive. But it didn't stop at monopolizing conversations. At one point, she openly criticized my choice of wine, a bottle I was particularly proud of, suggesting in front of everyone that I had always had poor taste in wine, and apparently in many other things. The chuckles around the table were uncomfortable, tinged with embarrassment for me, rather than amusement at her wit. Such evenings often leave me playing the role of the apologetic host, smoothing over ruffled feathers and pouring oil on troubled waters, quite literally and metaphorically. Who needs a sitcom when you have a living room stage with real-life drama? It hit me during our vacation last year. I was more of a prop than a partner. We were in Venice, the city of canals and romance, or so they say. Picture this: gondolas gliding on shimmering water, couples whispering sweet nothings. And there we were, my wife orchestrating every moment for a perfect social media showcase. "Stand there," she'd command. "Smile here," she'd insist. I felt like a mannequin in a shop window, positioned just so to catch the eye of passers-by. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, we sat at a quaint cafe by the Rialto Bridge. It should have been perfect, but as I reached for her hand, hoping for a moment of genuine connection, she brushed me off. "Not now, I'm setting up the shop," she said, her eyes not meeting mine, but fixed on her phone screen. The waiter, an elderly Venetian with a knowing smile, brought over our drinks and winked at me as if to say, "Hang in there, mate." It was then, amid the clinking glasses and distant laughter, that the severity of my reality sank in. I wasn't her husband in that moment. I was merely a prop in her staged play of life. The view was breathtaking, but the realization even more so. If you're enjoying this tragic comedy of marital woes, do hit that like button. As we navigate through the murky waters of living with a narcissistic partner, remember, you're not alone. Smashing the subscribe button will ensure you never miss out on the tales from this labyrinth. Got your own stories or thoughts on escaping the clutches of a narcissistic demon? Drop them in the comments below. Sharing is not just caring, it's surviving. Don't forget, misery loves company. So, what have we learned from my daily dance with the devil? Firstly, recognizing narcissistic traits is crucial. It's like being a detective in a mystery novel where the clues are subtle and often hidden in plain sight. You might notice a constant need for admiration, or perhaps a lack of empathy that's as chilly as a British winter morning. Then there's the impact on relationships. Living with a narcissist can feel like being a supporting actor in your own life's movie. They often take the lead, turning every situation to their advantage, leaving you with the script of an underdog. It's a classic tale of manipulation and control, where your feelings might be dismissed faster than a raindrop in a storm. But here's the silver lining: maintaining one's own mental health. Imagine wearing an invisible emotional armor. It involves setting boundaries thicker than the walls of the Tower of London, and practicing self-care like it's your royal duty. Engage in activities that fortify your spirit and connect with others who understand that sometimes the dragon you're fighting is not in a fairy tale, but across the breakfast table. As we wrap up, it's clear that knowledge and self-awareness are your best allies in this battle. Recognize the signs, understand their effects, and guard your mental health like a knight in shining armor. Remember, even demons have weaknesses. Are you battling your own personal demon? You're not alone. Navigating the stormy seas of a relationship with a narcissistic partner can often feel like an isolating journey. But remember, there is a vast community out there brimming with individuals who understand and can relate to your struggles. This is your invitation to break the silence and share your story. Whether it's a tale of turmoil or a trick you've learned for coping, your experiences are invaluable. Engaging in this conversation isn't just about unburdening your own soul, it's also about lighting a path for others who might feel lost in similar shadows. The power of shared experiences can transform personal battles into collective triumphs. And if your situation feels overwhelming, consider this: a reminder that professional help is not a sign of defeat, but a strategic move towards regaining control of your life. Drop a comment below, because sometimes the pen or keyboard is mightier than the sword.
Savored this video? Fancy another? Click the on-screen video for an even deeper dive into fresh territory. Your support is like a warm cuppa on a brisk day. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, ring that bell for the latest content. Cheers for watching.